We looked like a couple
And
of...
what's the story about the
salmon.
concrete?
The concrete when the escape... well, what happened was to have authenticity, I think, for the echo of the sound. And I think there was a wonderful actor called Wyn Roberts.
Oh, yes.
He was in that as well. I think he played some patriarchal governor. So what they had to pour concrete, and I think there was as I mentioned, a fellow called Phil East. He was
Producing. I remember Phil very well.
And I don't think they poured the concrete earlier enough.
So it was still wet.
Well, we were expected not only to walk on water, but walk on wet concrete.
Lord alive.
So production was getting very, very nervous, so they brought in these huge gas heaters. You don't, or maybe you hadn't been called...
What, to try and dry it all?
To dry the
Oh, no, I wasn't in
cement.
those things, obviously.
And
This must have been a location, was it?
No, they actually built the tunnel in Studio B.
Oh, because our tunnel was all polystyrene. You had cement. Wow,
I know.
You were spoiled.
And guess why? You got polystyrene.
Yes, we got polystyrene and nearly got gassed to death because of all the fumes and things. It was dreadful.
Far too expensive.
Now, here's this scene with the Jordan frame that I spoke of earlier, with Maggie Kirkpatrick actually being lifted on a real Jordan frame by real firemen.
Lucky
Here she
thing.
goes.
What
Yeah, I would love to have
excitement.
had a go.
Have a
wouldn't
go?
you? Yes.
Absolutely. And that's what? Ian Smith.
And look at them, they're right underneath. Yes, Ian Smith.
He's now doing... Is he still in Neighbours?
Oh, I think he'll be there forever there. Although, I wonder who's going to pick that show up now, since the BBC have dropped it.
Well, as we used to do.
Because it's, of course, owned by Grundy's or Fremantle Media, who also own Prisoner. And apparently they asked for such an enormous amount of money. This could happen to us, one of these days, on this show. Enormous amount of money for it. But they were obviously very, very confident they could sell it for an enormous amount of money elsewhere. And I think that perhaps ITV or one of those companies who actually was the first company to pick up Prisoner in the UK have picked up Neighbours, or going to pick up Neighbours.
Oh, look, here we are in the back of the ambulance.
Oh, I'll tell you something about the pantomime that I remember too. The fact that we were all in those costumes and we were actually shooting it quite close to Christmas, as I remember. And the cast did their very first personal appearance in a supermarket, and we were running so late for the appointment to go down to this supermarket that we actually all had to turn up in our costumes, pantomime costumes. Of course, the people there assembled were expecting Prisoner stars. They weren't expecting Cinderella and the Ugly Sisters to turn up.
So was that a local supermarket?
It was.
Or
It was a
it
local.
mall?
It was a Forest Hill supermarket, I think it was actually. Or supermarket, shopping centre, shopping mall, one of those things.
You mean I can walk out of here any time I like?
Yes. Well, as soon as the doctor's finished.
I went to all that trouble, and it was all waste of time. Yes, Anna Ruby, that's what happened.
Oh, gee, that's terrific.
Now, she, of course, is... there are 3 generations of Rubies on stage and on screen at the moment. Her mother and her good self and now her daughter. All acting.
So which shows are they?
Oh,
are they...
don't ask me that. I don't know. Lots of them.
And is Anna doing any more theatre? Do you know?
I don't know for sure. I knew she was last year, but I don't know about this year. I'm not really aware.
The last time I saw her was at a Prisoner. In fact, you actually organised it, or the one before that you organised at the
yes, the big
theatre.
the reunion thing. Yeah, yes.
Where we donated the money for women,
To
HIV.
positive women.
Yes,
Yeah, that's right. Mm. That's still that is a charity that I still donate. Any work that any money that I do for charity, raised for charity, goes to positive women. Still, I've just actually done something in England where a lot of photographs were taken, and the photographer is selling the photographs of me with the fans to the fans. But he's actually giving a percentage of that to the to positive women. He asked me what charity to nominate, and that was it.
Oh, that's good. So talking of Christmas pantomimes, did you ever do a panto in Britain?
I certainly did.
Which one?
And I have just turned down another one.
Oh, not another
I just
ugly
turned, well,
sister role.
No, Wicked Witch, actually. I've played a few of those as well. I was asked to play the evil witch in Sleeping Beauty, actually, and I have said no, because I don't really want to spend Christmas in England. And I don't like pantomime very much. But yes, I did a very big pantomime for 12 weeks, would you believe, in Manchester at the Opera House there.
Joan Ferguson. Do you know her?
Oh, she's alive, the bitch. I just love that.
Talking of pantomimes, ugly sisters and
Watch it.
fairy godmothers, I have to say that Sheila Mary Florence was my fairy godmother on and off stage.
One of the most generous human beings I've ever met in my life. A naughty old trout a lot of the time as well, mind you, but I loved her dearly.
Oh, she was appalling, absolutely
It's a
appalling. We were absolutely blessed, and I mean blessed, that we were on the right side of Sheila.
Oh, true. I got on the wrong side of her at one stage, but I soon won her around again. But there was just a moment there, where she was part of what I called the coven.
And she stopped calling you, oh, Valley.
Valley, or
Valley.
Opal Eyes, she used to call me too. But she was wonderful. How was she especially wonderful to you?
Well, her generosity with acting, and also, did you know that Sheila, Judith McGrath, and myself were all living together at one stage?
No, I had no idea.
Well,
How long did that go on?
Well, I think Judith McGrath was on tour for Lend Me a Tenner, and Judith and I used to share a flat in Domain Road in South Yarra.
I knew that flat, yes.
Yes.
I was aware of that block.
So then, I think, I was in between digs, so to speak, and then Sheila, her grandson, Stephen, moved out, and she asked, oh no, I think he might have still been there. Anyway, I moved into the third bedroom.
Oh, right. Oh, so you actually moved in with Sheila, right?
Sheila,
Yes.
yes.
Mhm,
So I was living
Oh,
in
yes, I
St
knew you
Kilda.
stayed there, yes. I thought that you were talking,
And-
you'd all gone off and lived together somewhere else.
Oh,
the three
no,
of you.
no.
Another coven.
Well, it was. So so Judith was on tour with Lend Me a Tenner, and Sheila was doing, I'm not sure, she wasn't working, and I was doing bibs and bobs, and the three of us were living together.
And how did that work?
Well, let's say it varied.
See?
But the funniest thing was that Sheila's flat had parquetry floors, and she had these single beds on shepherd casters. So every time you'd go to hop into bed, you'd be ricocheting from wall
Gate
to
across
wall,
the room.
wall to wall. So she would call out for quiet.
Yes, that's right.
And then, of course, when she went to Britain to do the pantomime, when she was so... Oh, I don't
No,
think
she did. It wasn't a pantomime, actually. It was a thing called On the Outside that she did with Amanda Muggleton,
Yes.
Carol Burns, and me. And she was very unwell at that point in her time, sadly. And had an operation shortly before she went, and sitting all that time in a plane of course adhesions, and she was in terrible pain. And you know what a stoic she was. She was not letting on how very ill she was. No, it was a sad time. We had to cancel. She did one appearance. We had to cancel the others that she was involved in. We went on with them, but not Sheila.
I remember she was hospitalised during that tour.
That's right.
And I was at home looking after her cat called Baby.
Oh, I thought it was called Eartha Kitt.
No, that was an earlier one.
It was an earlier one, was it? Oh, right.
And talking of stoic, Sheila and, well, I'd say every actor,
Most actors, yes.
most actors, I beg your pardon. I can remember, I think it was Sheila was sick during the filming of Prisoner. In fact, she was that sick that she was vomiting bile.
Oh.
And I think it was Juliana Foch, our gorgeous director, insisted that she went to the doctor. And of course, Juliana had to check with Phil East that it was permissible.
Yes, that's right.
So I accompanied Sheila, and all